take my word for it. I live there. Come to Florida. Get pre-approved right now with my guy Michael Kotze. Call him at 561-441-2730. He's got Choice Mortgage and a great real estate team. Get pre-approved right now. Michael Kotze, 561-441-2730. Buy in Florida right now. Don't wait. Save money on state taxes. Make your move today with Choice Mortgage. Trust me, Florida is waiting. This guy's so good, he did my commercials in Florida too. Mike Kotze, 561-441-2730. A ride.
This episode is brought to you by Marqeta. When it comes to your payments provider, you can't afford to compromise. Marqeta's modern payment solutions flex with your business without the trade-offs. Stable and agile, secure and innovative, scalable and configurable. If they say you can't have it all, don't believe them. Your business demands more. Choose a payments provider that delivers more. Choose Marqeta. Visit marqeta.com/Spotify to learn more.
It's the 77 WABC News Hour.
Talking the news with Noam Laden.
All the news you need to know with Joe Nolan, traffic, Justin Ellick, sports. And now,
Talking the news with Noam
on 77 WABC.
Yes, that's me. Good morning. It is Wednesday, December 10th. Your forecast from the 77 WABC Weather Center. Clouds this morning, showers this afternoon, though. If you're in northwestern New Jersey and maybe in the upper Hudson Valley, it could be snow this afternoon. The high 43. Tonight and overnight, light rain, low 32. And then Thursday, sunshine, high 35. If you're walking out the door with us right now, 31 cloudy in Mount Vernon up in Westchester County, 33 and cloudy in Rumson over in New Jersey, and it's 32 and cloudy right outside our Midtown studios.
This is the Top 5 at 5.
A Brooklyn mom freed from prison as cops still search for her missing kid. It seems a lot of you steal items when using the self-checkout line. A sad goodbye today to the owners of a Long Island deli. What if you went missing and nobody noticed? And some in New Jersey wait for hours for free fast food. All right, let's get into it at 5:01. Luigi Mangione's lawyers again zeroing in on his arrest as they try to get key evidence tossed from his murder case.
During testimony, an officer told the court that she searched Mangione's backpack without a warrant during his arrest at a Pennsylvania McDonald's because there was a fear there might be a bomb inside. But during the pretrial hearing, lawyers showed body cam footage of customers walking by, and the officer confirmed that cops never did evacuate the restaurant. Police say they found Mangione's manifesto and the murder weapon used to gun down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson inside that bag. Mangione's team wants that evidence tossed from the upcoming murder trial. James Flippin for 77 WABC News.
Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani's comments last week saying he would stop the NYPD from cracking down on homeless encampments, sparking a lot of controversy. Yesterday, the mayor-elect met with real estate leaders, members of the Partnership for New York City, to try to figure out ways to cut red tape when it comes to housing the homeless. He says they discuss how to remove roadblocks that make building new units difficult and secure more federal aid for development.
It takes 252 days on average to fill an affordable housing unit, which in the most expensive city in the United States of America should be the easiest thing that we do.
Of course, the homeless issue has faced New York City for just decades now. The meeting comes days after he said it would be inhumane to break up homeless encampments, but he didn't get into specifics of what to do about those encampments.
The question, however, is whether we will be satisfied by just shuttling those New Yorkers to another equally cold place in our city, or whether we want to connect them to housing.
And of course, New Yorkers continue to have strong opinions about how to handle the homeless situation.
Get these people in the proper facilities, not the subways. It's dangerous. They have accidents. They could fall on the tracks. Tents on the subway with traffic, rush hour traffic. How's that going to work?
It's kind of hard to come up with a solution. I just wish everybody would be a bit more kind.
And the mayor-elect says there is a record number of homeless people on the streets right now, suggesting that New Yorkers need a better safety net, and they don't have it right now.
Hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers are just one rent hike, one medical emergency, one layoff from joining the ranks of the homeless in our city, which have swelled to the greatest numbers since the Great Depression.
Mayor Adams says Mamdani's approach to the homeless encampments, he says, is at best idealistic. Two South Jersey brothers getting the book thrown at them by Homeland Security after they allegedly posted threats against ICE on social media.
Ricardo Antonio Roman Flores and his twin brother Emilio, both arrested Tuesday morning in Absecon, that's near Atlantic City. Homeland Security says the brothers posted an online threat to, quote, shoot ICE on sight. They also claim the pair threatened a DHS assistant secretary. Agents and local police used a SWAT team to arrest them. Emilio is charged with 2 weapons counts, criminal coercion, cyber harassment, and more. They're both charged with conspiracy to make terroristic threats. Andrew Whitman, NBC News Radio, New Jersey.
An iconic piece of New York is going to get a big-time makeover.
The Coney Island Boardwalk is getting a facelift. $1 billion has been approved to upgrade the 102-year-old Riegelman Boardwalk. The full reconstruction includes new ramps and plazas to improve access, along with renovations to more than a dozen adjacent buildings that house lifeguard stations and public restrooms. The Mayor's Office of Management and Budget in September earmarked the capital funds for the project through 2032. I'm Lisa Ritchie for 77 WABC News.
WABC News Time 5:05. Let's go over to Kentucky, where one student dead, another critical condition after a shooting at Kentucky State University yesterday. Scott Tracy is the assistant chief of police with the local Frankfort Police Department.
One individual who is not a Kentucky State University student is in custody. Frankfort police believe this to be an isolated incident, and there are no active safety concerns.
The school has canceled classes now for the rest of the semester. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear asking for prayers for all those affected.
This was not a mass shooting or a random incident.
Kentucky State University President Dr. Kofi Akapau called it a senseless tragedy.
As a parent, I cannot imagine receiving the call I placed to the parents. Our students need prayers. Kentucky State University need prayers.
And the gunman was taken into custody. He's not a student at the university. Frankfort police have identified him as Jacob Lee Bard. He's from Evansville, Indiana. No real clear, at least police are not telling us any clear motive for the gunfire. He's been charged with murder and assault. The Federal Reserve seems poised to announce an interest rate cut today. While investors anticipate the third rate cut in a row, they'll be even more focused on what Fed Chair Jerome Powell says in his comments following that announcement. Powell could indicate this could be the last expected cut for now, citing current market and inflation conditions. This is not the last rate decision with Powell as Fed chair. Although President Trump has pushed Powell to resign, his term as chair does not end until May of 2026. WABC News Time 5:08. President Trump kicking off a tour touting his economic agenda with one of his campaign-style rallies in Pennsylvania. He spoke to a large crowd of supporters in Mount Pocono last night, saying his administration has saved America.
They gave you high prices. They gave you the highest inflation in history, and we're bringing those prices down rapidly. Lower prices, bigger paycheck.
The president says his tariffs have brought in trillions to the U.S., have pushed companies to invest in American manufacturing. Once again, he blamed the Biden administration for the country's economic woes.
We're getting inflation. We're crushing it. And you're getting much higher wages. I mean, the only thing that's really going up big, it's called the stock market and your 401ks. But under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000 a year. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has already seen their wages increase by more than $1,300.
The president taking shots at his political opponents at this rally as well.
Prices are coming down very substantially, but they have a new word. They always have a hoax. The new word is affordability.
Yeah, everybody is talking about affordability. In fact, some polls show Americans say affordability is out of control, and a majority of voters are starting, at least in some of these polls, to blame the president. And of course, that has Republicans worried about that ahead of next year's midterm elections. 5:10, Congress trying to tackle the growing problem of online predators. Yesterday, the Senate Judiciary Committee held this bipartisan hearing on protecting kids from online sexual predators. Hearing hearing what was really emotional testimony from parents like Tamia Woods, whose kid committed suicide after being sextorted.
We can make sure that we have your back no matter what. I would give anything to have my son back.
Yeah, sextortion is when scammers get teens to send them nude photos, then extort the kids for money by threatening to show those pictures to family and friends. There were over 33,000 reports of sextortion just in 2024, and those are people who just reported the crime.
And if they have to learn, if they have to see James' face, if they have to see my tears, I'm going to make sure that it happens if it means that I can save your grandchildren.
Yeah, good for Tamia Woods for speaking out. Democrat Senator Dick Durbin, he's from Illinois, says both parties haven't done enough to combat these online predators.
We make great speeches here. We sometimes enact great laws in the committee. But when it comes to taking them to the floor, to enact them on the floor and eventually send them over to the House, we drop the ball completely.
Yeah, so it's good to see at least they're working together on this. Senators Dick Durbin, Republican Chuck Grassley, he's from Iowa, say they're introducing now 3 new bills to protect kids from those online predators. Congressional Democrats talking about reports that Americans continue to say they're being swept up in these ICE raids across the country, legalized Americans, American citizens.
We know of over 170 U.S. citizens that have been detained by ICE.
That's just in California alone. California Congressman Robert Garcia says that nobody's safe in these immigration sweeps. A newly released Senate report put together by Democrats includes interviews with dozens of victims, including some from California. One of them is Joe Garcia, who's from Hollywood, says he was arrested for filming an ICE raid at a Home Depot.
Due process is something that both U.S. citizens and non-citizens have. That's clear. Now, ICE ignores that. To go after United States citizens because of the color of their skin or because an ICE agent might think they are undocumented is outrageous.
Republicans pushing back against that, saying at some point, sometimes people do get swept up in these raids, but they say for the most part, the right people are being caught and being sent back home. 5/12, President Trump rolling out a $12 billion farm aid package. We told you about that earlier this week. Great news for many farmers who say they've struggled through another difficult growing season.
So the bridge helps us get through another year until these trade agreements take into effect.
So that's Brian Adamek, who's with the Texas Farm Bureau.
We're losing a lot of money per acre, and this bridge will help offset that and get us to the next year.
Now, the president says the cash would not be possible without the tariffs. He says that money will start flowing to those farmers come February. 5/13, Secretary of State Marco Rubio has declared that Calibri is a DEI font. I'll let Tammy Trujillo explain this story.
Rubio has ordered the State Department to return to using Times New Roman as the standard font for official communications. The font was switched to the sans serif Calibri under the Biden administration, based on studies it might be easier to read for some people with visual disabilities. An internal memo calls the use of Calibri a wasteful diversity program and says Times New Roman will restore decorum and professionalism. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
5/13, Pope Leo calling for a just and lasting peace in Ukraine. Correspondent Molly Hunter reports the leader of the Catholic Church. He met with Ukrainian President Zelensky in Italy yesterday.
They spoke broadly about ending the war, but they also spoke specifically about an issue that we know Pope Leo cares about, that we know is one of the most sensitive issues for President Zelensky, and that is the deportation, the kidnapping, the unlawful transfer of Ukrainian kids to Russia.
In a statement, the Vatican said the pontiff reiterated the need for a continuation of dialogue. Zelensky said he told the Pope about diplomatic efforts with the U.S. to achieve peace.
President Zelensky would very much like to see the Vatican take a bigger, a stronger mediation role between Ukraine and Russia, specifically on this issue. What he did say is that the U.S. wants a deal. They want a compromise. They want Ukraine to end this war, to agree to this proposal that is on the table. The Ukrainians say they're sending the U.S. an updated position by the end of today.
Zelensky had traveled to Italy following a trip to London to meet with the leaders of the UK, France, and Germany to talk about the war between Ukraine and Russia. Starting today, social media accounts in Australia are banned for all kids under 16. That includes Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You can name them all. YouTube says the move could actually make Australian children less safe on the internet.
The Australian government says it's protecting children from predatory algorithms. Under the ban, Australian children will still be able to visit YouTube, but without an account. A YouTube spokesperson says users without an account will lose access to the platform's safety filters and well-being settings, making Australian kids less safe. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
In a moment, we'll go down to Florida, where Governor Ron DeSantis is being threatened for a lawsuit after he's gone after CARE, and which is the Council on Islamic Relations, calling them a foreign terrorist organization. We'll get into that story in just a moment. Reverse 515. Let's head over to the 77 WABC Sports Desk. Good morning, Justin Ellick.
Good morning to you, Noam Layden. Start here out in Toronto on the hardwood. Jalen Brunson scored 35. Josh Hart added 21, and the Knicks advanced to the NBA Cup semifinals for the first time in 3 tries by beating the struggling Raptors 117-101. Karl Anthony Towns had 14 points and 16 rebounds for the Knicks, who will face Orlando in the semifinal round in Las Vegas on Saturday. Next for the Knicks, obviously, they will be off until that semifinal matchup. So next time you'll see them out in Vegas come Saturday. Head to the ice now in Elmont. Emil Heineman scored in the 4th round of the shootout after New York allowed a tying goal in the closing seconds of regulation, and the Islanders beat the Vegas Golden Knights 5-4. Ilya Sorokin made 33 saves in regulation and overtime before stopping all 4 Vegas attempts in the shootout. Up next for the Isles, they'll host Anaheim tomorrow night. In Ottawa, Cody Glass scored the tie-breaking goal on a wrist shot with just about 7.5 minutes remaining, and the Devils beat the Senators 4-3 to snap a 5-game skid. Jacob Markstrom stopped 35 shots, making several saves in the final minutes to secure the victory. New Jersey had scored just once, over its previous 3 games. Up next for the Devs, they'll welcome in Tampa Bay tomorrow night. Rangers back in action tonight in Chicago against the Blackhawks. That'll be a 7:30 p.m. puck drop there. Led to the NFL here. Some weird news yesterday. Philip Rivers.
What's that?
Philip Rivers.
Oh, yes,
remember
that's
him?
a crazy story. Yeah.
He's apparently coming on back. The longtime star quarterback. He retired after the 2020 season. That's almost 6 years ago now.
Yeah.
His 17th in the NFL. He's rejoining the Indianapolis Colts on their practice squad amid that injury crisis, obviously, that has left them with 3 sidelined quarterbacks. Rivers worked out for the Colts on Monday evening, and we all kind of sort of thought it was, sort of a going through the motions sort of deal, a bit of a charity case, give the guy a tryout because of all he's done for the franchise. But it worked out, and it comes a day after his 44th birthday, instantly making him the oldest active player in the NFL. Remains to be seen what his immediate role will be, but Riley Leonard's status for the Colts' next game at the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday is still unclear.
Wait, so he could start?
Yeah, he could start. Coming up this weekend. He could.
What's he been doing until yesterday?
I don't know.
Do we know?
In fact, I'm expecting him to start this football.
Wow.
Year. Yeah. I mean, you watch Riley Leonard over the weekend.
He was terrible.
Yeah. I mean, come on. It's looking like he was still at Notre Dame. So
now I read some story that he has 9 kids. Is that right?
Yeah. He's been popping them out for a while now.
Wow.
Yeah.
God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No wonder he's back on the field. He needs to pay for them all.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So we'll see.
9 kids? Come on, man. Get out of bed.
No,
Jeez.
get back to the grind. That's what you got to do. Dust off those shoulder pads. Let's go.
Yeah. So now we know why he's willing to get hit in the head a few more times.
Yeah.
He's got bills to pay.
And the state of the quarterback market in the NFL right now is very high. So Philip Rivers, he's back in the NFL. And
how great is that?
Yeah, isn't that great? And some offseason MLB news yesterday as well. The Dodgers bolstered their bullpen, reaching a 3-year, $69 million deal with former Mets reliever Edwin Diaz. And also yesterday, slugger Cole Schwarber and the Philadelphia Phillies are finalizing a 5-year, $150 million contract, so that'll reunite the National League home run leader with the Phillies. And that's your sports now. I'm Justin Ellick on 77 WABC.
WABC News Time 520. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis being threatened with a lawsuit now after designating one of the country's largest Muslim advocacy groups as terrorists. DeSantis says the Council on American Islamic Relations, better known as CARE, is a foreign terrorist organization, and he looks forward to a court battle with the group.
But we welcome that. I mean, we did do the designation for both the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE. This is something that has been a long time coming. I know the federal government's now working in a similar direction.
In DeSantis' executive order, he alleges that CARE has ties to Hamas, the terrorist organization that attacked Israel, of course, on October 7th, 2023.
So I think our executive order is kind of the beginning. I think you're going to see statutory codification of how we handle different terror designations. There's no question. A lot of it is financial. That's why I think a lawsuit is something that we very much welcome. That will give the state of Florida discovery rights to be able to subpoena the bank records.
So the Council on American Islamic Relations says now they're officially suing Florida. They're going to go after Ron DeSantis.
Our economy is suffering, but our tax money is going to fuel a better quality of life for Israelis.
They say they're tired of DeSantis and his Israel First legislation.
So this is an appalling attack to try to take attention away from the current genocide going on in Gaza. Ron DeSantis has sent millions of Floridians' taxpayer money to Israeli government bonds.
It'll be interesting to see how all this all shakes out in Florida. 522, an invasive insect that eats the flesh of livestock has been detected about 70 miles south of the Texas border. The USDA trying to tamp down fears that domestic cattle herds are in danger of this new world screwworm fly, as they call it, that's coming here. Now, the thought is that they're not here, and the thought is that they're being brought over from cattle that are coming from the other side of the border.
Those cases have been related to cattle movement, not a natural increase as far as where the fly is moving further north.
That's Michael Schmoyer. He's with the USDA. He told lawmakers yesterday that hundreds of traps put in place along the southern border.
The system was working and the surveillance caught it.
Yeah, so the thought again, this is the new world screwworm, as they call it, being brought north by cattle shipments, not by natural migration. So they're trying to figure out a way to stop that. 523, let's head over to California, San Francisco. The Bay Area continues to be rattled by dozens of small earthquakes over the last couple weeks. The latest struck on Monday, most of them in the San Ramon, close to a fault line there.
There's lots of little faults. There might be some sort of micro cracks and maybe a little bit of fluid coming up from depth. That's causing these little earthquakes to kind of occur and rearrange and let go of some of the stress there.
Can you imagine if we were having those daily quakes? I mean, they're used to it in California. That's Anne-Marie Balte, seismologist with the U.S. Geological Survey. She says the swarms of quakes are typical for this area, and she thinks they're going to continue.
It's nothing really to be alarmed about. It can be very disturbing if you're feeling these earthquakes, and these swarms can go on for a few days, so we may expect to have more shaking.
You know, when we have those like magnitude 3, people freak out. They're having like regular magnitude 3s, at least 19 earthquakes of magnitude 2 or greater over the last 2 or 3 weeks. A tribute to a one-of-a-kind actor.
The Dick Van Dyke Show. Starring Dick Van Dyke.
Acting legend Dick Van Dyke turns 100 years old on Saturday. That's the same day that director Steve Betcher is releasing the film Dick Van Dyke 100th Celebration. You can see the film in theaters on Saturday and Sunday. Dick Van Dyke is expected to attend some of his birthday events this weekend. I'm Mark Mayfield.
WABC News Time 524, Texas State University using AI now to root out liberal bias. A video that was sent to professors orders them to use artificial intelligence to adopt an ideological neutral tone in their classrooms.
We are making sure that our titles and our course descriptions are presenting inquiry rather than advocacy.
Now, this AI program apparently seeks out words like decolonizing, centering, justice-oriented. In the video that's sent to professors, the associate vice provost of the system says the goal is to make sure that courses are not pushing one viewpoint on college campuses in Texas.
I'll show you some potential areas that might suggest some type of advocacy.
Now, you might guess there's some pushback to this, but this is the new tool they're being told to use.
AI is not an expert in any of your fields, and so this is just a tool.
Yeah, interesting. 525, Paramount has launched a hostile bid to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery after losing a bidding war to Netflix. Meantime, correspondent Chloe Malas reports that President Trump says he intends to be involved in deciding whether the Netflix deal will be approved.
In a filing, Paramount said their bid will be backed in part by funds from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates, as well as Affinity Partners, a firm founded by Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law. For consumers, either deal could reshape the entertainment landscape.
Now, in an announcement, Paramount said it would pay $30 per share to acquire the media company. Netflix had earlier said it planned to buy the historic studio and its streaming assets for $72 billion, nearly $83 billion when accounting for all the debt.
Final approval could depend on Washington. President Trump saying he would be personally involved in whether the Netflix deal would be allowed to go through, adding both offers should be examined.
Yeah, any deal, of course, would use or would need or require federal approval. 526, police are now identifying a man who was murdered in Santa Monica, California as globally acclaimed singer Jubilant Skies.
71-year-old Sykes was found dead in a home on Monday night. His 31-year-old son, Micah Sykes, is behind bars on suspicion of murder. Jubilant Sykes was a Grammy-nominated opera and jazz singer. Santa Monica police say he suffered injuries consistent with a stabbing. Investigators tell KBC-TV the suspect has a history of mental health struggles. He is being cooperative. I'm Daniel Martindale.
It's the 77 WABC News Hour.
Talking the news with Noam Laden.
All the news you need to know with Joe Nolan, traffic, Justin Ellick, sports. And now,
Talking the news with Noam
on 77 WABC.
Yes, that's me. Good morning. It is Wednesday, December 10th. Your forecast from the 77 WABC Weather Center. Clouds this morning, showers this afternoon, but if you're in northwestern New Jersey, parts of the upper Hudson Valley, this could fall as snow. The high for the rest of us, though, will be 43. Tonight and overnight, light rain, low 32, and then Thursday, sunshine, high 35. If you're walking out the door with us right now, so happy you are, 31 cloudy in Mount Vernon up in Westchester County, 33 and cloudy in Rumson over in New Jersey, and it's 32 and clear right outside our Midtown studio. WABC News Time 5:38. Imagine you go missing and nobody's looking for you. It doesn't get a whole lot sadder than that. A New York City hospital asking for your help identifying a man who was hit by two subway trains. That took place back on October 15th. The man was brought to Mount Sinai Morningside Hospital, and since then they've been trying to figure out who the heck he is. The hospital says the man's been unable to provide any information on who he might be. He is 5'6", 153 pounds. I mean, the description's not going to help you a lot, but he's got dark brown eyes, looks to be his 30s to early 40s. And we're going to put a picture up of him on WABCradio.com. But they say so far, nobody has come looking for him. They've been unable to figure out exactly who he is. So today, this morning, he continues to lie in a hospital bed at Mount Sinai Morningside. Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani's comments last week saying that he would stop the NYPD from cracking down on homeless encampments sparked a lot of controversy. So yesterday, the mayor-elect met with the real estate leaders and members of the Partnership for New York City to figure out ways to cut all the red tape when it comes to housing the homeless.
It takes 252 days on average to fill an affordable housing unit, which in the most expensive city in the United States of America should be the easiest thing that we do.
The meeting comes days after he said it would be inhumane to break up those homeless encampments, but he did not get into any kind of real specifics of what to do about those encampments.
The question, however, is whether we will be satisfied by just shuttling those New Yorkers to another equally cold place in our city, or whether we want to connect them to housing.
And a lot of his talk and during the campaign on the campaign trail was this as well, is that New Yorkers don't have any kind of safety net when it comes to housing.
Hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers are just one rent hike, one medical emergency, one layoff from joining the ranks of the homeless in our city, which have swelled to the greatest numbers since the Great Depression.
Now, Mayor Adams yesterday saying that, and he said this a couple days before as well, he's saying Mamdani's approach to those homeless encampments is idealistic at best and won't work. Up in the Bronx, they continue to mourn a 27-year-old who was killed in a hit-and-run accident on East 222nd Street, right at Boston Road. There's video, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately in that maybe they'll be able to catch the driver, but unfortunately for the family who get to see Sharik Bryant's last moments. So he was out walking in the crosswalk when he was hit Saturday morning. The driver took off and left him for dead.
All of his friends were just still in shock. Like, it still doesn't feel real to this day. I just spoke to him, and I'll never speak to him again. I'm smiling right now, but inside I'm crying.
There's a growing memorial exact site where this hit hit and run took place. The surveillance video, it shows a BMW speeding down East 222nd Street, crashing into Bryant as he crosses the street. Police say the driver clearly knew what happened, took off. Bryant died a short time later at the hospital.
One day I'm going to have to accept the fact that he's gone, but like for now, he's not gone. He's still here. Genuine guy.
Genuine person.
Guy. Mm-hmm.
That makes you want to do genuine stuff for other people too. You know what I'm saying? His aura rubs off on you.
Mm-hmm. Life of the party is life of the party.
Yeah, in fact, those friends releasing video yesterday, they were partying with him at a local bar in the moments right before he was killed, and they were having a great time. So far, police have been unable to find that driver, but they'll find him, and hopefully they'll throw the book at him. 542, Jacqueline Pritchett. She was freed from Rikers Island yesterday after a judge found that her continued detention violated her Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. You may not remember the name, but she's been in custody since October after an ACS worker reported her 11-year-old son, Jacob, was missing. Jacob, who's autistic and nonverbal, has not been seen since. Police launched this extensive search back in October that included checking dumpsters behind the family's apartment on Howard Avenue, landfills nearby. During multiple court hearings, Pritchett refused to answer any questions about Jacob's whereabouts and repeatedly invoked her right against self-incrimination. Her defense attorneys argued she was being jailed only to pressure her into speaking, and a judge agreed with that. So she's out of prison today, and in her neighborhood where she lived, they say, we don't want her back.
It's actually puzzling to know that they let her out. Now what? I don't even believe it. I thought they would never let her out.
Now, Pritchett showed little emotion when she learned she would be released. She's due back in family court on December 19th. Outside the door of her apartment in this Brooklyn building, there is an eviction notice. So it's not even clear if she'd be able to get back into the apartment building if she went back there. But neighbors say they don't want to see her.
I don't think she's going to come back because everybody knows that she doesn't harmful to her kid. I'm hoping that she probably just gave him to someone that she know take care of him. Yeah. And not hurt him.
Yeah. Let's hope that's the case. And when we checked in with the NYPD to see if there was any update on this 11-year-old's disappearance, the police said all that they could tell us is that the investigation remains active and that there was no new details about that search. 544. A judge has ruled to get rid of a protected bike lane already partially painted on 31st Street in Queens. It's unusual because these lawsuits against bike lane projects usually go the way of the Department of Transportation, but that was not the case this time. The judge agreed with some local businesses and a school that say the design of this bike lane was not done right and made things more dangerous in this neighborhood. So these groups say the judge did the right thing yesterday.
The problem here is that they decided to have the cart lead the horse.
Genuine street safety cannot be achieved through a haphazard cookie-cutter approach that disregards legitimate concerns of people who live and work in this community.
Bikers, though, they're outraged. They say they need those protected bike lanes to get around the neighborhood.
If it saves lives, it's worth doing. And all of the data, the evidence bears out this fact.
Now, the DOT releasing a statement after that ruling yesterday saying that they're reviewing the decision and evaluating what the next steps are for those bike lanes.
I'm tired of schools opposing safety infrastructure that their own students would benefit from using. I'm tired of restaurant owners screaming about parking in neighborhoods where nearly all of their customers arrive on foot, bike, or transit.
Yeah, so we await the DOT's next move when it comes to those bike lanes in Queens. In a moment, we'll go out to one New Jersey community where people waited in line for like 12 hours to get free fast food. We'll get into that story in a moment. But first, 5:45, let's head over to the 77 WABC Sports Desk, and here's Justin Ellick.
Thank you, Noam. Laden started on the hardwood in Toronto. Jalen Brunson went for 35. Josh Hart added 21, and the Knicks advanced to the NBA NBA Cup semifinals for the first time in 3 tries by beating the struggling Raptors 117-101. Karl Anthony Towns had 14 points and 16 rebounds for the Knicks, who will face Orlando in the semifinal round in Las Vegas on Saturday. That'll be their next game. They are off until the weekend. To the ice in Elmont, Emil Heineman scored in the 4th round of the shootout after New York allowed a tying goal in the closing seconds of regulation, and the Islanders beat the Vegas Golden Knights 5-4. Up next for the Isles, they'll host Anaheim tomorrow night. In Ottawa, Cody Glass scored the tie-breaking goal on a wrist shot with about 7.5 minutes remaining, and the Devils beat the Senators 4-3 to snap a 5-game skid there. Up next for the Devs, they'll welcome in Tampa Bay tomorrow night, and the Rangers, they'll be back in action tonight out in Chicago against the Blackhawks. That'll be a 7:30 p.m. puck drop for them. Head to the NFL here, and some odd news yesterday coming down the pike. Phillip Rivers, yes, you heard that right, is adding one more chapter to his NFL story. The longtime star quarterback who retired after the 2020 season, his 17th in the NFL, is rejoining the Indianapolis Colts on their practice squad amid an injury crisis that has left them with 3 sideline quarterbacks. Rivers worked out for the Colts on Monday evening. The news comes one day after his 44th birthday, instantly making him the oldest active player in the NFL. By the way, Noam, the correct number on his children is a round number of 10.
Oh, it's not 9, it's 10.
And he's got a grandkid. So you've officially got a grandfather quarterback in the NFL.
That's great. And the people tackling him could be his kids, right? I mean, if he's 44,
yeah,
these guys are 20, 21, 22, 23.
Yeah, essentially.
He could be their dad.
Essentially. Yeah.
Hoorah! Yeah.
It's like, imagine Deion Sanders out there playing with his kid Shador.
Now, he had some, yeah, right, that'd be nutty. He had a fair amount of successful seasons. He was a pretty decent quarterback.
He was great.
In his day.
Yeah, he was great. I mean, he was a phenomenal quarterback. I got to look back and see if he won an MVP, but he could have. He was definitely in the running several years. Right up there with the best guys under center in his time, for sure.
Who do they play this week? Do you know?
Yeah, they got the Seattle Seahawks coming up this weekend, so he could start this weekend because Riley Leonard is still a question mark around him. He's the quarterback that would be starting for the Colts this weekend, but there's a question mark around his status. So they'll find out more today, and you'll probably get a decision on Rivers by tomorrow. We'll see.
I hope they put him in because then it'll be interesting to watch.
Of course.
Mean, and how great would it be if he's okay? Oh, he's decent.
Yeah, the ratings on that game will go through the roof if Phillip Rivers is starting. I'll tell you that right now. So
it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Yeah, let's see. 44 years old and in a wheelchair. Let's see how that strategy works out. And then some off-season news in the MLB to get to as well. Edwin Diaz, he is not staying in New York with the Mets. He's headed to L.A. to join the Dodgers, who bolstered their bullpen, reaching a 3-year, $69 million deal with the former Mets reliever and slugger Kyle Schwarber. He will remain in Philadelphia. Him and the Phillies finalizing a 5-year, $150 million contract there. That's your Sports Noam, and I'm Justin Ullich on 77 WABC.
WABC News Time 550. An Orange County father marking a second holiday season without his young daughter, who vanished more than a year ago during a custody dispute, believed to have been taken out of the country by her mother. 4-year-old Alexandra de la Mora Gomez was last seen on surveillance video. You have to go back to November of 2024, leaving her mother's New Hampton apartment with packed bags. Her father, Michael Lamarca, was granted custody days later, but did not realize his child had been taken out of the country. He has not seen or heard her since. He spoke to News 12 yesterday.
Really, it's hard. You always want to give your kid everything you can, just make them happy. Christmas is one of those times where you get to see that in their face. I just don't get to see her face.
Yeah, Alexandra disappeared amid what her father describes as just a contentious custody battle. He was never married to this woman, but they apparently had agreed to raise this girl together until the mother took her, they believe, to Mexico, or she's in Texas. Nobody knows for sure. So the dad and his mother, who would be this girl's grandmother, are beside themselves.
Every holiday that passes makes us realize how much we miss her more and more.
Of course it does. The Orange County Sheriff's Office says the case remains open and active, and that investigators are working with federal partners on all leads, but so far they can't find that mom. Indictments yesterday in an international sex trafficking ring that lured women to New York only to be trapped into prostitution.
Manhattan DA Al
Alvin Bragg says the people indicted in state court Tuesday played different roles in the sex ring. Some talked women from Venezuela and other countries to come to the U.S. Others are accused of taking their passports, then forcing the women into sex work to pay off their debts. And at least one guy, they say, bankrolled it. 15 indictments in all. More than a dozen women were victimized. NYPD led the investigation, with the FBI and Homeland Security also involved. Andrew Whitman, NBC News Radio, New York.
WABC News Time 552. Let's go out to Long Island, where a community there preparing to say goodbye to the victims of a deadly stabbing, double stabbing, inside the A&A Italian Deli in Bethpage. This was last Friday. The memorial of flowers and candles outside the deli continues to grow as people honor the victims. The wake for Angela and Antonio D'Ambrosio is set to place today and tomorrow at the Frederick Chappie and Sons Funeral Home. That's in Bethpage. The funeral will be at St. James Roman Catholic Church in Seathford on Friday. The victims were allegedly stabbed and killed by their son last week.
So it's very sad because all co-workers here, they know them very well. So they were telling me, they were very good. So, lovely couple.
Yeah, just a horrendous story. Police say Vito D'Ambrosio entered the store, had an argument with his parents in a back room, and then stabbed his mother and attacked his father, stabbing both of them in the throat. Apparently, he had been estranged from the family from a domestic incident involving a sibling from just a couple weeks prior. 553, North Jersey Congressman Josh Gottheimer going to co-chair a new Democratic House Commission on AI, artificial intelligence.
Congressman Gottheimer calls the potential for AI boundless, saying it includes everything from healthcare to education. Gottheimer also predicts that AI will increase efficiency, create new opportunities, boost wages, and transform the U.S. economy. The two other AI co-chairs are California Congressman Ted Lieu, a Democrat, and North Carolina Congresswoman Valerie Foushee, also a Democrat. James Flippin for 77 WABC News.
Yesterday morning, we were watching video of this really intense fire. Upper West Side apartment building, 6-story building, broke out in flames. Firefighters had a hard time battling this thing because it was so cold yesterday that the water kept freezing. Pieces of the building kept coming down to the street below. It ended up that 2 people were injured in this fire. This was 107th and Amsterdam Avenue.
Upon arrival, we had heavy fire on that top floor and through the roof. Fire heavily involved 3 of those 4 apartments, but that 4th apartment and some of the apartments below have heavy damage.
You could see this fire for just miles. I mean, lots of people could see it. The entire 6th floor of the building consumed by flames and black smoke.
We will maintain a watch line of presence on this scene throughout the day.
Yeah, not clear what ignited that fire. Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman launching his campaign to be New York's governor yesterday morning. He dropped a video online, and now New Yorkers responding to the fact that he's in the race for governor. First, he'll have to win a GOP primary against Elise Stefanik, the upstate New York congresswoman, if he wants to take on Kathy Hochul come next November. So what do New Yorkers think about Bruce Blakeman jumping into the race?
I don't know who. I'm not familiar with him at all.
Well, that's not good.
Bruce Springsteen? No, never heard of him.
I see them running, yeah. Everybody's running right now. Everybody wants to win the race, but we want the right person in the chair.
Okay, so they're willing to, sniff around, see who he is if they don't know who Bruce Blakeman is.
To me, she do too much flip-flopping, She was with this congestion crisis.
She's talking about Kathy Hochul here.
Wasn't a good look.
I think when that one issue alone, no, but then yes, because anybody else is just not qualified to even be in that position right now.
She sucks.
Okay, New Yorkers say it's not too early to start thinking about the election next November.
Not necessarily. If we could think about it now and put things in perspective and put them in place, so that we do get a decent governor, that'll help us out.
I don't think so, because it's, before you know it, the holidays will be over, and sometimes you need time to find out about the candidates, how they stand on the issues. No.
It's never too early with politics.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of time still. I mean, we're talking about a primary next June and an election next November. One with this story, the promise of 1 year's worth of free chicken was enough for more than 100 people to brave the cold outside a Raising Cane's in Middlesex County, New Jersey yesterday. Apparently, it's the first location in Central Jersey, the new storefront in the Edison Crossroads Shopping Center. That's on Route 1. So this is, if you're not familiar, and I'm not really familiar with this place. I mean, I know what they make. They make chicken fingers. And so I just can't imagine waiting in the cold for 11 hours. I guess a year's worth of free chicken, that's worth something. But chicken fingers, really? But here were the people that were waiting all night to get those free chicken fingers.
This is an experience in itself. Ambition to try to be the first and just to try to get us going, especially through finals right now.
It's more of like a southern kind of flavor compared to all the regular fast food restaurants.
And also the sauce, I was like, okay, the sauce is just spot on.
Definitely a lot of layers, a heated blanket, gloves, very insulated in here.
All right, maybe I'm missing something, but waiting in line for 11 hours for a year's worth of free chicken fingers not happening. 5:57, traffic, transit on the 7s. Am I missing something here? Is Raising Cane's really good, Joe?
Raising Cane is really good.
Oh, it is?
And it's open till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So
it's like Taco Bell in that way, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. But it is pretty good there. Yeah.
Oh, all right. So I'm going to go try it out.
It's right by 287 on Route 1.
Is it the sauce or is it the chicken finger itself?
It's the sauces they have.
Oh, okay.
They're really, really good. It's Southern stuff. You know, it's big in the South, that's for sure.
All right.
Raising Cane. Well, here we go. As you start to get through Brooklyn, we're in pretty good shape until you get inbound on the Gowanus QE. Right around the area of Prospect Expressway to the Brooklyn Bridge, heavy and slow traffic.
Apparently, they give you like a piece of toast with it or something.
I don't know. I haven't been to Raising Cane's in a long time, but it's I do remember that the chicken was really, really, really good.
Someone's texting me that there's buttered toast with it. Something.
Now that's worth it just by itself.
Yes, that sounds. I'm sorry. You can keep going.
Thanks for listening to the News Hour with Noam Laden. You can hear the News Hour with Noam Laden weekday mornings at 5 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode, so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now is, right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.